What's up, fam? Y'all about to watch this call to the. I'm about to call the title company. The title company has the earnest money held captive, and the seller has backed out, but the title company won't release the funds, release the money that is non-refundable. So we're about to get them on the line to see what the issue is. Get them on the line and see what the issue is here. How y'all doing today? I'm doing great. Busy as usual. Okay. Gotta make sure I'm gonna be talking to the right person. But spending way too much time on this property, and we might not even close it. Well, might not even close it, unfortunately. Let's see here. Boom, boom. Okay. Here we go. Now let's call and see what's going on.
Chesterfield Title, this is Mike. How can I help you?
Mike, Kelly or Kelsey?
Kelly, 1 second.
Okay.
This is Kelly.
Kelly, how you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Great, great. My name is Moriel, and I believe you've been talking with my buyer's agent on the property on Hamilton Terrace in St. Louis?
That's probably Kaylee. I just processed.
Kaylee, okay.
Kaylee's the closer.
Okay, is she available?
Yeah. Hold on just a moment.
Okay.
I tried to connect you.
This is Kaylee.
Kaylee, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Great, great. So I'm Moriel, and my agent tells me that you're the person to talk to. You're the closer that was working the Hamilton Terrace?
Yes, the buyer side.
Okay, the buyer side. Okay, great, great. So I got a couple questions because we're trying to come to a resolution. Now, from what I understand, my agent tells me that the funds can't be released unless there is a mutual release or court order. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So my question is, why is that, being that the contract, and I don't know all the details, I know the contract says that money is non-refundable. Can you explain to me why you've come to the conclusion that you need those two options when the contract says it's non-refundable?
Well, the contract is still like a contract. If people are going to break a contract, we need a release that's mutual, that everybody agrees on, that states where the money's going to go. I can't just give you the money because you say you want it.
No, right. So I guess I'm confused that, so if the contract says that it's non-refundable and the buyer signs off that it's non-refundable, when does it come an option for him to get the refund though? That's my confusion.
Just because it says it's not refundable doesn't mean that I give it to the other party. I need a mutual release regardless of whether it's refundable or not.
Okay, right. So, okay, so I'm trying to prevent this going forward. So, is it possible, for future reference, is it possible that if the contract says non-refundable, can that buyer sign a mutual release prior to closing? Like literally sign the agreement, and then can he sign the mutual release? That way, if it comes to the point where they want to back out, he can back out, and there's no. You follow me?
I mean, anybody can sign a mutual release at any time.
Okay.
It's whether the other party will agree to sign it as well.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So hypothetically, if the buyer, at the same time that he signed the contract, if there was a mutual release there, he could have signed that as well. And then if we came to this problem, he'd already submitted his mutual release. Basically, we wouldn't actually need that. Is that correct?
No. I mean, you don't go into a contract with a mutual release already signed. Typically, that's the last resort, is the mutual release, when the deal's not going to happen.
Right. Okay. So I guess I'm more confused, because in that case, why would if a person signed a contract and it says non-refundable, why would they sign a mutual release if they want their money back, though? I'm kind of,
because they don't want to be in the deal. I mean, typically buyers get the earnest money back on contracts. Yes, I have seen instances where deals earnest money is non-refundable, but honestly a case-by-case basis. If it's non-refundable, essentially, if everybody is in, I don't know what's the right word to say for this, everybody's in line with the contract, if everybody follows the rules of the contract and something happened, then I guess maybe, the buyer could forfeit. But in this instance, the sellers did not close with my title company, therefore the buyers are saying that the sellers are in breach of contract, so they probably have a shot at getting their earnest money back.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what you're saying, if everything was in line, so okay. So all right. So in this case, at what point were the sellers not closing at the title company?
The entire time.
Okay. Because I know that once the buyer, signed the contract, we immediately moved to get an addendum. Did you know about the addendum?
Yes, but you're not the seller.
I am the seller.
No, you're not. The bank is the seller.
No, actually, I have a contract with the bank.
Yes, actually, the bank is the seller.
Okay.
You have one contract.
You were only the
You're
assignor
the
of the
assignor.
contract.
Sorry, this is Karen here. I work with Karen, but
So
yeah.
you're basically the buyer, and then you basically assigned the contract to another buyer. So you've never been a seller. It would be different if there were two separate contracts, but there's only one contract. So the bank is the seller. You're the assignor only on the contract, and then Affordable is the actual buyer. So you've never stepped in as the seller, because it's not happening that way. It's not two separate contracts.
It's not two separate contracts, or it is two separate contracts?
No, there is a contract, one sales contract, and then an assignment of the contract. The assignment of the contract only basically provides a new end buyer. It's not a separate contract. It's an extension of the original contract, taking you out of as being a buyer and assigning Affordable as the buyer of that original contract.
Okay. So I'm
releasing it or canceling it is also kind of a two-step process. So Affordable, if they don't want to continue to buy it, there has to be a release of the assignment of contract, and you can stay in as the buyer on that original contract, and you can continue to buy that from the seller and see if you want to find another buyer to then sell it to, or to get to buy it. You can stay within that original contract. The end buyer wants out of the assignment of the contract and no longer wants to be the buyer on that original contract.
Okay. So So they won out because the seller wasn't trying to close at their title company?
Yes, because the seller, the bank chose to close at investor's title. I think it was the title company, and within the contract that you wrote with them as you guys as the buyer, it stated in there that the seller was to close with the buyer's title company. And they didn't. They went to investor's title. So even if you stated as the buyer and they stated as the seller without affordable in there, by them going to a different title company than you, they were already in breach. That seller was in breach of that contract because they didn't follow the contract guidelines that stated they were to close with the buyer's title company.
There is an addendum. Did you get the addendum? The addendum was switching.
It changed the buyer.
That changes the buyer's title company. The seller, the bank is still closing with investor's title. And according to the contract, the bank is supposed to close at the same title company that the buyer is closing with.
So that's new information to me because per our addendum, we were going to use the buyer's title company. You have different.
Correct. No, correct. You changed on the contract. That addendum changed it from being Freedom Title to Chesterfield Title. But you're not the seller. The seller on the original contract, the seller is the bank. In that contract, it reads in the special instructions that the seller, who is the bank, is to close with the buyer's title company, which was originally Freedom Title, but then the amendment changed it to Chesterfield Title. So the bank, who's the seller, it was supposed to close with whoever the buyer's title company was, and they never intended to do so because they went to investor's title.
They went to investor's title. Okay.
Yes, correct. They were having investor's title handle their side.
Okay. So, So the addendum says they're still using investor's title.
No, the seller's title company is never stated within the contract. It's not something that's in writing.
Okay.
Specifically to specify that. But the contract reads that they are to use the buyer's title company but of choice, but they did not do so. They were closing their piece at investor's title.
Okay. I'm hearing you. Let me go back to my agent. I'm just trying to understand everything. That's all. That's what so.
Right. No, I get it. And I talked to Philip several times, and I talked to him earlier today as well. And I know that like you and Allied. So I mean, there's two pieces that have to release. So if affordable does not want to remain in the contract, then the assignment of contract needs to be released, so that takes them out of the picture. And then you guys still remain as the buyer on that original contract. And so then if you want to stay in the contract with them and find another end buyer, then you're welcome to do that as well, because that original contract would also have to be canceled out by you if you don't want to move forward as the buyer.
Right. Okay. But the main reason is because the seller wasn't going to close at the buyer's title company. That's the main.
That's correct. Because they violated that contract, the wording in that contract by going to investor's title.
Okay.
And that's why affordable wants out of the contract.
Okay. My misunderstanding. I thought the seller was closing at their title company. So.
No, they were not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get.
Yeah, you're just kind of you're kind of acted as the middle guy, and you weren't really the buyer or the seller. You're basically just kind of getting some, making some money in the middle as kind of like a commission type of thing, because you found an end buyer for it. So that's kind of how that plays out. So it wasn't like you bought it and then you were selling it. It was just you're kind of acting as an agent.
Right. Would it have made any difference if we didn't use an assignment contract, if we actually just used two separate purchase agreements?
If it would have been done as two separate purchase contracts, yes, but all parties had to close it. The same thing, all parties have to close at the same title company.
Okay.
The original seller, the middle buyer, who then becomes the next seller to the end buyer. So that becomes two separate transactions when you do two separate contracts. But any title company, all parties have to close at the same title company from the first seller all the way to the end buyer. Everybody has to be at the same title company for that.
Okay. So I'll touch base with Philip. I guess I'll ask you the same question for future reference. If I have a buyer and the contract says non-refundable, is there anything else I could get from that buyer? That way, at any point in time, if everything is followed, if the buyer backs out?
No.
So
I mean, I'm not. You'd have to talk to an attorney to make sure that your verbiage and everything, and that would be ironclad for that. That's kind of more of an attorney thing, or even a real estate broker to make sure that wording is done correctly.
Okay. So I'm sure this is not the first time a buyer's backed out with earnest money in. Do you guys always hold the money until all parties release it, or you get a court order?
Yes. Yeah, we have. Yes, that's correct. Because we're bound to hold it. Without those, then we could be held liable and be dragged into lawsuits and stuff like that too. Because we can't, since we're not attorneys, we can't interpret the language in a contract to make any types of determination on where that should go. So that's why we are forced to hold it till we have mutual releases or a court order.
Okay.
And after 5 years, it goes to the state under the unclaimed funds.
Right. Unclaimed funds. I'm very familiar with that. Okay, great. Thank you for your time. Let me consult with Philip. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
There you go, folks. All this isn't worth what our potential profit is. It'd be a different thing if 20 grand was on the line, but with me splitting this with my JV partner, if I get 2 bands, I'll be lucky. There you go, guys. Join in. Peace. Call my agent.
Hello,
Maybe he'll call back in the next 30 seconds. Hello.
Hey, this is Phil Young. What's going on?
All right, so just got off the phone with the title company. So little slight detail, maybe I misunderstood. Okay. So they're saying that the sellers at no point of time was trying to close at the buyer's title company. The sellers, not my son, but the sellers. But I thought that everyone was moving to the buyer's title company per addendum, or is that not correct?
Yeah, I know about that. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, that was my mistake, but I could have moved them over. That wouldn't have been a problem.
Okay, so that's what they're hanging on, basically.
That's what they're hanging. Well, I mean, I'm being truthful. I mean, I slipped up there because I remember saying that I had them at investors because they closed there before. Not forgetting that in the contract and special agreements, you guys had the seller closing at the buyer's title company of choice. So yeah, that's on me. I mean, I would have moved them, but
Right.
Yeah. So
okay, well, it is.
I will say that. Yeah, you know, but they could have gave an opportunity to do that too.
Yeah, yeah. It just seems like they just any loophole.
Find a way out.
Yeah, exactly. They're just looking for any. Okay, they didn't do this right. We're out.
Yeah, you know, and I'm like, really? so, but yeah, you know that. I mean, we could have changed that. They wait till the last minute and brought that up. Okay, so that's all I think. Yeah. I mean that is on me because I just missed it. So I will admit that. Okay.
Right. Have you got back? Have you got with the seller?
Yeah, I just haven't had time to do hold on a sec. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, my phone's locked up.
Right.
Yeah, I was having a call come in, but it got locked up.
Have you submitted?
I'm in the house. So hold on.
Right. Have you submitted that?
I hadn't had a chance to type it up yet because I had to leave.
Okay. You know. So, I this deal is crazy. Yeah, this deal is crazy. Let's just go. Hey, give us 2 weeks. Let's go with our original. I'm not coming up 15. 2 weeks, same price. If they can't deal with that, I'm cool. We're cool with that. This is too much. We're doing all this back and forth, all this working for peanuts. It's not worth it. So if you're gonna give us some time, you know, I've got 2 groups of people trying to find buyers. I got people trying to walk through tomorrow. If you give us 2 weeks, we should be able to find someone. You know, but I'm not. You know, I think everyone's done a little something wrong in this deal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not pointing the fingers, but.
Well, I just slip up on that. I'd be the first one to say it. You know, I mean, when I make a mistake, I'll bring it up.
Right.
But yeah, as far as the 1,500, I mean, yeah, that's what they said. So if you tell me that you're not going to do it, then you know I'll let them know, and I'll let them know why. Because you know, from that and see what we can do, and if not, I just have to break down everything to them. So
right, yeah,
I mean,
like literally, yeah, it's we probably could have closed 2 or 3 other deals and went going through all this, you know.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of deals, and I mean, it's the first time I've made a mistake like that as far as having the seller at the wrong closing time, you know. So, yeah, I apologize, but yeah, it's a mistake, but it's something that we could have corrected if they weren't trying to back out the deal. That's
you know,
sure.
that's not why they're back. I mean, that's not where they're backing out. That's the loophole that they're backing out.
Yeah, that's the loophole.
They're backing out because they didn't like other people in the middle of the deal, which it shouldn't matter to them if they like the price.
Right. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah. So yeah. Hey, I'm gonna pray. Send that in. I'm gonna pray, and I'm not gonna stress about it. If they want to let us work, let us work. If they want to not let us work, that's totally up to them. You know, they can put it back on the market for another 100 days, but it's too much. Yeah. It's too much going on, man. I done got gray hairs from this deal. But enjoy your weekend. Let me know something when you hear something.
So what am I doing? Okay.
We're just trying to get a 2-week extension. We got some people that's supposed to be walking this weekend, and we're trying to get it closed. But we're already fighting it. We're fighting to get it sold at the price they had it at. Now they want to bring it up. I mean, literally, if we had sold it.
You know why? So anyway, I'll pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I hadn't told them yet.
Right.
That you guys was going to agree to it.
Yeah,
so that makes it easy for me.
Right. Yeah.
So I will go ahead and let them know, and let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens, brother.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You know, like you, I'm worn out from the deal too. And trust me, I don't normally have these kind of issues, so.
Right.
So I'm sorry.
No, it's all like I said. Everyone did a little something wrong, so it's not, you know.
Yeah.
But just get back with me.
I will.
Okay.
I will, but it probably won't be Monday or Tuesday because it's the weekend. And
That's fine.
like I told you, they probably won't be available. So.
Right. Not a problem.
So I'll let them know what's going on. You know, to a point. You know, unless it really has to be said.
Right.
We'll go from there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Okay. Bye.
What? Are you serious? My real estate agent just admitted that he fucked up. He didn't tell me that. I had to get on the phone with a title company. They broke it down, and I call him back. Now he's admitting it? Crazy, man. This is crazy. Welcome to the wonderful world of real estate investing. Everybody got their hands in the pie. Everybody's screwing up. And you never know until you make the call yourself to see what's going on. Stay tuned.